Good morning, Terrence, or afternoon, I should say, on this Monday morning here in Georgia. Yeah, Confederate Memorial Day, so you guys say here, huh? Well, anyway, I wanted to do a video and call it Humans Strange Creatures, which is really what you are. And the reason I want to say this is, although I say it with affection, pain in the ass, because, you guys are. Uh, you could be strange too. And here's why. Uh, Sitting here on April 30th, 2018, by your calendar, and uh, looking at you guys here as an alien, hopefully your favorite alien. Anyway, here's the things. As an alien, I'll comment about you guys. And this is not pro, con, or bad, or good, or anything. It's just the way that my race would see you guys. Another race, well, the Mushko see you differently. They just want to wipe you guys off the face of the earth. They don't even think you guys are worth anything. But anyway, uh, say, for instance, uh, what's the difference between if you go to a restaurant and order a steak today and a steak back in let's make it 40 years ago. 78? Okay, so say April 30th, 1978. You ordered the same exact meal in April 30th, 2018. Are you going to pay the same thing? No. And why not? The steak is the same steak as you would get back then. The meal would probably be the same. So why is it worth a lot more? Artificial. What you guys created. Profit. And my planet, we don't have this. We order a meal today, and it's exactly what somebody ordered 100 years ago. We pay nothing. They pay nothing, and we pay nothing. And it's not free. Everything cost. But you guys don't comprehend the word cost. Uh, to give you an example, my capital city and my home planet, 100 years ago, we had 2,500,000. Today, 2,500,000. Has it changed? Oh yeah. We've basically it looks the same 100 years later, but some neighborhoods uh, where people live in the areas because we have it blocked off into different areas, working areas, living areas, medical areas, uh, and authority areas. Like police, what you would call police over here. Uh, anyway, and certain extent, you have to renovate because certain things you leave for posterity, other things you have to renovate. So that's what we do. We don't go outside and build and build and build. And then you have a city that's worth, what, 62 square miles, say? Well, say Atlanta here in Georgia. I don't know what the square mileage of it is. But, I'll say St. Petersburg, Florida. It's 62 square miles. That's supposed to be what it is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Uh, why do you need that big of a city? Why do you need a big of a city of Atlanta? Well, you guys are constrained in Atlanta because you built your interstates, as you call them here, which constrains you. But still, if you had 100 million, or say maybe a million back in 1918, You should have 1,000,000 in 2018, but you don't. Atlanta had what, maybe 50,000 or so back in 1918, maybe. And now you got what? If you add the metro area here, 5,000,000, I would say, in the Atlanta area here. So you see what I mean? And it goes back to my analogy to the steak. Uh, the value of everything should be the same. You should not have that. And you should have the people that you have here be the same. But, and the people that are coming in from, say, our other members of the Federation, who come into their planet, you have to have a reason to go there. Um, we allow visitors uh, for vacation and stuff like that, as you call them here. But to actually live on the planet, well, you have to go in through a different format, and you only allowed like 2% of the entire population is outworlders, as we call them, or you guys would call them outworlders. So here, you guys don't have that. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry comes in here. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry goes into England or France. And that's why you got the problems. And Canada. Canada accepts any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Um, the Canadians should have 2%. You should have 2%. And if you have a 300 million population, say in the United States, basically about 300 million, it's a little more than that. So 10% of that is 30 million. That's a lot. 1% is 3 million. So 6 million. You should have 6 million here in the States total from other nation states on the planet that are permanent or temporary residents here at a given time. And that would work. But you guys don't do that because you guys don't have any planning. You don't have any planning on your cities. You don't even know how you handle your uh, resources that you have, your water resources, for one. You don't manage water. If you did, you wouldn't have water problems that you're having here in the western United States, especially, or here in Georgia. You wouldn't have that because you would have the people there. You don't need all these cities in the state of Georgia. Do you need all these cities in the United States or Canada? Well, Canada doesn't have the population you guys do, and they, most of theirs are in their big cities like Calgary, Alberta, in Alberta, or Winnipeg, Montreal, and Toronto. They have big populations in Canada. But, you have open areas in Canada that are open, but you still have towns that really shouldn't be there, but hey, they're still there. That's what I'm saying is you guys populate your land masses based on what you guys can get. What is there to get? Is there gold? We're going to be over there in a hurry. And once the gold is gone, well, we'll leave the mess for everybody else to look after. And then when you have big cities, then you start getting, what are we going to do with the sewage? What are we going to do with all the waste that we produce? Our bodies produce, I mean, look at all the waste that your bodies produced. Methane, dangerous. I mean, you haven't learned from your planet's era, like back in the dinosaur age. You had, and you guys have confirmed it, millions and millions of dinosaurs roaming the planet at one time. Can you imagine when you had those exuberantly large animals? Their excrements must have been, big. Uh, I would say when say a Bronchosaurus went to town, his number two would amount to a building in Walmart as far as big coming out of there. So, if can you imagine that over millions of years accumulating there? That's a lot of methane. So what happens? Hey, the Earth's atmosphere, as you know, it's not constant, it changes. And if you have a lot of methane and ethane and other combustibles like that, and your scientists know this, big time, they go boom, and the oxygen in the atmosphere, all you need is one little lightning storm, and you got yourself a mess, and it lights up the atmosphere. So you got a planet-wide fire, which will eliminate any life forms that live at least 99%. If you're under the ocean, you might be lucky because you still have oxygen, because the oxygen on the atmosphere will be soaked pretty fast. So anybody who lives in the atmosphere will be asphyxiated. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, Terrence. And I know I don't have time to go. I wish I had a longer video thing on this thing, but it only gets me up to 15 minutes and I'm up to 11. So in closing, I'll tell you, these are the things that you have to look out for. And I could give you more advice, so let me know if you like these videos. And I'll tell you, advice. You don't have to take it, but at least maybe it'll change your way you look at your society. Thanks.